Monday, March 27th, 2023. The day Old School changed forever. Maybe. I don't know. So they have some pitches for some new skills. Sailing, which, I mean, kind of an old skill, but we'll get into that. Taming and shamanism. I'm just showing you a brief overview. These are pitches for skills. They are intentionally vague. If you would like to participate in the discussion, please watch the video and maybe understand stage 3. This is very important. So basically what this is they're saying you pick one concept and they'll work on it a little more. All these are intentionally vague. Okay? They've left out details because they don't want people to be like, oh, they say the XP per hour isn't good. Oh, I don't like it. And then get rid of it. Whereas they can just change those numbers. Okay? They could, if you're like, oh man, 40k an hour, that sucks. I want 80k. They could just do 80k. They don't have to throw away the whole skill. So that's part of what the pitches are for, is that they have it vague concepts. And then you go, okay, I want to know more about that. Then they move to the refinement and they continue going forward. And at any of these stages, if we decide as a community, actually, this doesn't play out how I thought it would, they can go back. We can go back. Like, they do not have to lock something in. They do not want to intentionally put in something bad into the game and have people leave the community and not pay for membership. That is not the goal with these skills. So as long as you have that understanding in mind while you're talking about this, I think you can provide healthy discussion. If you just see taming and you're like, oh man, that's just Pokemon, I hate it, that's maybe not constructive. Maybe don't do that. Maybe don't flood my comments with that. So this is why sailing is the best of the pitches, okay? Sailing is so cool. Everyone's been wanting it for so long. It started out as a joke, and now everyone's thought about it. Our S3's done some little sailing stuff. We've had teases of sailing in different quests and mini games and things like that. Like just little like, okay, we're on a boat. I'm firing a cannon. I'm jumping onto the other ship. Like just a little, ooh, this is what sailing could be. That could be really fun. So let me read through what we have right here. Whether you're an explorer setting foot on unexplored territory, a fisherman hoping for a monster catch, a pirate looking to sink every ship in sight, or even a courier looking to move goods from A to B, sailing has something to offer everyone. So acquire a vessel, set forth, and travel Gielinor like you've never traveled before. That sure describes a lot of things. That sounds cool, but what do we actually do here? The core gameplay loop: navigate to a port, obtain a ship, and engage in fun activities at sea. The port part, maybe you play Dragon Slayer 1, you're like, oh dude, building that ship, going to the port, that was so cool, I wish they did more with it. Here we go. They're wanting to do a lot more with it. I know in the past, a lot of players had wanted user-generated content that was like seemingly random little connected areas and just almost sort of like a dungeoneering feel where you go through like different chambers and unlock some new little things. I feel like this has the potential to become that, where it's just like you're out on the sea, and if you're in uncharted waters, then you don't really know what's going to be next around. So with this, increase your sailing level, lets you explore more dangerous and exciting areas. You can kind of just have different things pop out. Now, they haven't said that they want to pitch it in a non-defined map way, but I think that's an interesting thing. If they wanted to have like air quote random events happen, that would be a really fun way to be able to do that. Now, of course, where does all of this start? Let's envision day one. What are we doing? To get started on your sailing journey, you'll need to make your way to a port. Luckily, we have loads of those in-game already. Next, you need to actually obtain a ship. There's lots of options that they could be doing, whether you want to hire one, purchase one, or steal one. Stealing one could be cool. Like, there's just always like a level 5 boat that you can steal or something. It's kind of how I would imagine it. I mean, obviously they could, have some crazy, like, new thieving, like, pyramid plunder level, like, you have to go on this giant yacht or something, but I don't doubt that they're going to do that. Or you can build one from scratch, kind of like what I was talking about the Dragon Slayer thing. The quality of the ship will impact how far you're able to sail and how you'll fare at sea, although you'll need higher sailing levels to command the best quality of vessels. Once you've obtained your ship, you could set sail and start doing seafaring activities. This could include searching for an elusive sea monster, finding a new fishing spot, or seeing what else exists across the far-reaching seas of Gielinor. So The way they have constructed this is sailing is something that interacts with a lot of the scene world, i.e. the ports and things like that. It also interacts with existing skills in the game, like fishing, for example. This could be the new meta for fishing. There could be some great place to catch manta rays or something. But at the same time, it's very isolated. You're going to brand new areas that don't affect the existing map and gameplay loop of traversing through the map. This is more akin to them doing a Corrend. Like, here's a big area that kind of could have existed, and we're not screwing up all the existing stuff. Here is brand new layers and layers of things here for you to be able to explore. So if you're afraid of them screwing stuff up, sailing isn't really going to affect a lot of the game that you know right now. So I think that all sounds really cool. Let's go ahead and go to their disclaimer. So of course, sailing has been a pitch since 2015. It's been a bit of a meme. There's a lot of stuff going on with it. A lot of people will not read this. They'll see sailing and they go, no, I don't want it. I've never wanted it. I don't care what you guys are going to do about it. I don't want to engage with sailing. And I think that's fair. But we'll see. We'll see where it goes. I think if you're this far into the video, you maybe at least want to maybe care a little bit, or maybe you would just want some more fuel for the fire. Maybe you want to see specific things that you don't like so that you can harass members on Twitter. I don't know, but I'm going to pretend that that isn't it. They also are not wanting to do the player-owned port system in RS3, which I believe is sort of like a micromanagey kind of thing. I don't know. That's just what I've heard. I've never actually done it. It seemed like garrisons from WoW, which I also never did. I played WoW at the time, but I was told it was awful to do that. Like, it just wasn't fun, so I never did it. So, enough of the disclaimer. The disclaimer, I don't think they really needed it. I think they need content. What is the content? What can you do at sea? They've already given us a brief overview on some of the things that we can do, but let's go into it. So we planned for seaborne activities to make up the bulk of your sailing training. It also makes up most of the reward space. So they do not want you to sit there in the harbor and just make ships all day, and that be how you get your sailing training. Sailing actually involves engaging with the sailing content and not just creating boats, which I think is cool. You may think that like, oh, well, if you're doing sailing to get fishing, then you're just going to get fishing XP, not sailing XP. I think they're probably going to have a balance. You're probably not going to get sailing XP every time you fish out at sea, some sort of mixture, but I don't know yet. So let's just keep going before I speculate. So we'd like to focus on navigating as a core mechanic. This would be a huge part of the skill, so it's important that it feels natural. The current click to move system might feel weird on the open sea. We've been toying with a few options like a unique pathfinding algorithm, keyboard entry controls, or a special navigating interface. This is one of the few things we'd like to focus on during refinement, and you can bet you'll get a lot of opportunities to try this mechanic in the beta. From what I recall, Bone Voyage, moving that boat sucked. Like, all of the boat mechanics have been very clunky. Even the fun ones of, like, jumping on the enemy ship. Like, this thematically is cool. I am hitting them with a cannon, and then I'm jumping on and stealing their stuff. Whatever that quest was is cool in theory, but, like, how are you gonna want to do that for 30 hours? Like, is that always going to be cool? I don't know. So I do think that is interesting talking about that. I think basically what they're asking with this is, should you be the boat or be someone working on the boat? I kind of feel like working on the boat is still more fun, but probably more of a pain to do. So maybe it isn't more fun. But let's move on. But navigating would be a bit boring if the sea maintains its current copy-pasted blue texture. With this skill launch, we'd fully update Gilnore's oceans with deep waters, coral reefs, sea currents, storms, and loads of other new content for you to discover. That's really cool. I really like that. I would very much like for sailing to change the coasts of the world, for you to be able to see little things as you go by. Even if you aren't participating in sailing, I think that'll just add more life to the overall world. And hopefully you don't have to go all the way deep in the water to see that there's like actual new stuff. Well, we don't like the idea of giving you passive XP for navigating around aimlessly. After all, you don't change agility by walking. Instead, we plan to introduce a variety of activities you can take part in. This will be the bread and butter of the skill, the means by which you'll earn the vast majority of sailing XP. Our current suggestions includes deep sea fishing, hunting elusive sea creatures, navigating challenges where you navigate the ship across some sort of obstacle or threat, delivering packages from A to B, and discovering new islands to explore. Lastly, we'll throw in some passive gameplay, things you can do alongside training the skill to give you small amounts of XP, such as recording your adventure in the captain's log or dealing with random encounters. Just like the rest of the world, the sea is alive and full of danger. Be on the lookout for bad weather, strange creatures, and ships full of vicious pirates. That sounds cool. The biggest thing I always heard people talk about with sailing was discovering new islands, that there's just like a bunch of new content, like almost again the like randomly generated or user generated content, which I don't really think we're anywhere near the stage of them wanting players to make their own islands, though I think that would be really cool. I really don't see that coming into the game anytime soon. And then at the, I believe this is the end of the post, they have some nice little art. Of course, these are things that we've done already before. We have these tools, right? I'm pretty sure we have like different navigation tools that we just don't use in the game. So that could maybe be fun messing with stuff. You see some dangerous waters, a mermaid or a siren, maybe? I don't know. I'm not going to talk to her either way. Women scare me. Let's move on. Oh, reward space. Okay, that actually wasn't the end of it. So what can this do for you? If you don't like just playing it, you want to see some GP or something, you want to see some cosmetics, what's up with that? Okay, the intrinsic motivation for training this skill, getting access to a big, awesome boat and exploring the ocean, is also a major part of how you'll train it. Bigger, more awesome boats will of course get you access to more content, so we'll be adding a monumental amount of stuff for you to do it, including new islands to explore and bespoke training methods, activities, and mini-games to try. You'll also get to customize your ship and show off your sailing achievements, potentially, and similar to the way we currently let you decorate your player-owned house if we can. Of course, some of you might prefer to just focus on having the most efficient vessel possible, and that's fine too. We might even look into the option of having multiple ships for multiple purposes. That sounds really cool. Just having a trophy ship or something. And definitely them talking about the player-owned house, there are people who have a very specific and efficient layout for their house so that it loads like half a second quicker. Like I think not having a bedroom in your house makes it load faster or something like that. I don't know. I've tested some before and after. I'm not a huge like getting the most XP out of construction or whatever, so I've never really dove into that, but I could definitely see people wanting to do that with sailing as well. And perhaps the most exciting part of sailing, though, is you'll finally gain access to part of the game that's been blocked since you left Tutorial Island. Ever wondered what's beyond the little bit of coastline you could see from your favorite fishing spot? Well, wonder no more. So, in summary, sailing is a support skill which lets players command their own seaworthy vessel to unlock, discover, and experience new content on the seas of Gielinor. It provides a wealth of opportunities for us to generate a huge variety of content no matter what kind of player you are. Most importantly, sailing will let us expand the world of Gielinor beyond what you've ever imagined with an entire new sea map filled with danger and excitement. Sailing represents a huge opportunity for us to bring new types of content to the skill at a later date. There's always more to discover on the open sea. And they have partnered with Gentle Tractor and Volkabin. I've never actually heard this name said out loud before, but I think these people did some community pitches on Reddit, if I'm not mistaken. I think like the Barding was these two. So they have a digital representation of the skill, which is going to be the coolest of the way to intake this information. Like they really should have just had this at the start. I don't know why they didn't. The sailing skill, look at that, take it in. Look at all this stuff going on. So the overview, get ready to traverse the seas in search of adventure as you begin mastering the art of sailing, whether you're an explorer, discovering what lies beyond the horizon, a fisherman hoping to catch a monster. This is all the same stuff, is it not? I'm pretty sure this is all the same stuff. I've talked enough about this. Let's go over the pretty pictures, okay? So you can navigate to a port, obtain a ship, and engage in fun activities at sea. Wow, look at how fun that looks. You know, I haven't used... This makes me think I have not used the little like log boats in so long. I wonder what sort of like, if you can use these as like shortcuts. I guess the existence of sailing right now is only traveling from port to port, but it would be cool if you could make your own crappy little boat to be able to travel port to port the same way you can, say, go from Lumbee, chop down that tree, and go all the way into the wilderness. I think that would actually be really cool. That would be a nice, like, oh, okay, I don't want to like spend 1,000 GP on this. I'm just gonna steal this boat real quick. This again is a lot of the existing stuff right here. I think they actually incorporated all of the yeah, they just used a lot of the little sketches and pictures right here to be able to go through. They do have some disclaimers though, which is cool that they added it in this visual way, because again, these are things that already we looked at, but they go, we really don't want to do time-gated content in the player-owned port system of our S3 content. What can we do? We can navigate. There's active, there's passive, and then the reward space. You can go to new places and get new, like, fish, for example. You can customize your boat and show it off. Maybe you have a super fast boat that has no cool things on it, and a normal boat that has, like, a trophy on it or something. And in summary, sailing is a support skill which lets players command their own seaworthy vessel to unlock, discover, and experience new content on the seas of Gielinor. It provides a wealth of opportunities for us to generate a huge variety of content, no matter what kind of player you are. Most importantly, sailing will let us expand the world of Gielinor beyond what we've ever imagined, with an entire new sea map filled with danger and excitement. Sailing represents a huge opportunity for us to bring new types of content to the skill at a later date. There's always more to discover on the open sea. So that is the end of sailing. I think sailing would make an amazing addition to the game because it already fits thematically into the game very well. A lot of the activities are just going to be enhancements of existing activities, but because of the structure of both how you navigate in the world and the locations of things, it really has the opportunity to add some new and weird things, like an elusive sea monster. You know, there's some new, like, you don't just have to like find Kraken in Slayer. There could be some sort of weird monster that you encounter in the sea. And maybe it's tied behind a Slayer level, maybe it's not, I don't know. Honestly, I don't really like that they tied so much stuff behind Slayer level and have to be on task, but that's not really what this is about, so I'm not going to go into that. I am going to say that I think sailing looks really fun. I don't know that it's going to be like the most amazing skill in the game ever. Like, you might still just want a woodcut. You know, some people just want to sit there and woodcut, but I don't think I would be upset if this was put into the game. Let me know what you guys have concerns about. I think this is a very, very safe skill. I think that's what you can say about this skill, is that at the very least, it doesn't look like it'll ruin the game, and at the most, it could be a ton of fun. So yeah, seriously, let me know what you guys think about this skill, and I'll see you in the next one.